Hello everybody and welcome back to another Monster Jam show out here. We are in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome in Texas. This is the second stop on the Red Tour on the road to the World Finals here in 2020. This is going to be one awesome show out here today. We have two shows in one commentary from Saturday and Sunday night. We're kicking it off with Becky McDonough. She is your reigning freestyle winner from the last show. She'll be coming out onto the track first in El Toro Loco. Becky McDonough is looking to go back-to-back and freestyle as with the rest of these drivers that you'll see out here today in their respective competitions. Next up is Todd LeDuc. Oh, okay, that's a lie. It's Jim Kohler and Avenger. The video board lied to us. Your reigning two-wheel skills winner is Jim Kohler and Avenger. He's the one on the track, not Todd LeDuc. The video board was incorrect. And they're playing TNT, which is even funnier. I'm really enjoying this, honestly, a lot more than I expected I would. Jim Kohler and Avenger in Monster Energy. And now they're playing Jim Kohler's video board for Todd LeDuc. This is amazing. I am already loving this show. It doesn't get, wow, this is awesome. They're playing Jim Kohler. They played Todd LeDuc's video for Jim Kohler and Jim Kohler's song for Todd LeDuc. There's Todd LeDuc's video. All right, here's Todd LeDuc in Monster Energy finally coming out after all the anticipation. Well, welcome to San Antonio. Did Todd LeDuc win racing last week? Is that why he's coming out here? I honestly don't remember, and I feel bad that I don't, because I should remember that. Did he? I don't believe he did. No, Jamie Carter did. What am I talking about? All right. Up next, representing Team Great Clips. If this video's right, then that's who it is. This is... wait for the truck to announce it. Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. It actually is Bryce this time, I promise. You're not seeing things. That is the actual truck that was up on the video board. Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Thankfully, the hosts don't announce the trucks as they come out. They announce the drivers announce themselves in the videos. So that's not like a host's nightmare. It's just the video people's nightmare. But this tour had a really fun show last week. It was, out of the two shows, it was the best show out of the two. I mean, it wasn't a great weekend to start off the year, but again, you can't expect that to be the case. You really can't. You can't expect the first weekend of the year to blow your socks off. For some reason, we always get our expectations really, really high, and then we have them a little bit disappointed. But it's okay, because we're out here in week number 2, and normally week number 2 is a great show. You can remember all the way back to 2018. That was the year when Cole Vennard had his amazing show in Orlando. That was week number 2. There were some good shows that took place that week as well. But obviously, this is going to be an amazing season. This Red Tour is going to be really, really off the hook all season long. This St. Louis style racing track is a lot of fun to watch, and these guys are doing a great job of tearing it up. I will be seeing this track out in Vegas for 2 shows out there in the middle of March. That'll be a lot of fun. We're exactly 2 months away today from that show, so I'm really excited for that. That's going to be a ton of fun. It'll be Saturday and Sunday. But in the meantime, Glendale is next weekend. That'll be also a lot of fun. Obviously going to be covering that show too. That is going to be such an awesome weekend. But this is Monster Jam San Antonio fans. Get your hands together and let's find out who else is competing in this show today. You've got Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. John Zimmer in Dragon, Lindsey Wink in the Lucas Oil Crusader, Jamie Garner in Overboard, Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl, Michael Waters Jr. in Overkill Evolution, Brad Allen in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, Brian Wright in Hooked, Darren Basil in Black Stallion, and Steve Sims in Stone Crusher. Again, this is a 2-day affair out here, which means that I'm going to be shortening things up just a little bit. Big thank you to Jazz for recording this first show for me. But I'm only going to be showing semifinals and on in both of these shows. Don't want to waste too much time in the racing competition. And then for two-wheel, I'm only going to be showing their 2 hits, nothing else in between. And then freestyle, I just cut out all the unnecessary time in between stuff, if there is any. Thankfully, both of the videos were pretty concise. I didn't have to cut too much off. I did have to cut a lot off of Jazz videos, but that's because he wanted to record the scores for me. But knowing that I had 2 shows that I had to cover, I decided to just do cutting off that and just cutting off, excuse me, the other stuff. But the other guy actually did a pretty good job of only showing the hits and two-wheel and the whole run. So, we're in the semifinals here. This is already looking interesting. It's a battle of the independents. You have Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl taking on Steve Sims in Stone Crusher. Cole Bernard, mind you, was in the final round last week. He got knocked down by his teammate Jamie Garner. Made it all the way back to the semifinals here this week. He's got a chance to go to the final round one more time. And going through that final turn, he will end up going back to the final round as Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl is knocking down Steve Sims. The next race here in the semifinals will determine who faces Cole in the final round. It's either Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco or Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Bryce has never had tons of success in racing. Hopefully he can get something here against Becky. And he does. He gets the win as Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior is moving into the final round. It is time for the final round of racing here today in the Alamo Dome. We have reached incredible heights in Monster Jam throughout our career, but always exciting is the final round of racing. It consists of 2 drivers that have had to battle through a long racing bracket to go head-to-head to decide who's going to walk away with that trophy at the end of the night. This is going to be a great race here. This is the second final round race of Stadium Tour Red. So let's find out who will be competing in this final race. In the far lane, representing Team Great Clips. He has not had a ton of success in racing in his career, but this would be an awesome win for him. It's Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. And in the near lane, he was in the final round last week as well, but he sadly got cut a little short of that racing win, trying to go back-to-back. Well, he's hoping not to go back-to-back, actually. He wants to be able to get that win this week. It is Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl.
I don't even know who's going to win.
This is going to be a crazy race. 2 drivers that, again, like I said, not necessarily known for their racing throughout their career, so this should be interesting. Also, it's an exciting moment that they are in the final round anyway, so this is going to be one heck of a race. They've got the green and they are off. Going over that first jump. Going down to the final turn. They look dead even right now, but Cole Bernard hits the dumpster on the side, and that's going to cost him the race. He pops a tire, and that will be the end of Cole Bernard's night as Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior is your racing winner tonight. Congratulations to Bryce. One heck of a win for him. That is one sweet win for Mr. Kenny right there. That is a fantastic moment, and I'm sure Bryce is going to cherish that one for quite some time. Now we will move in to the Skills Challenge, and starting us off in that competition today, that is going to be the Stone Crusher Monster Jam truck, which is interesting because he got knocked out in the semifinals, and typically they go in reverse order of how they finished in racing, but I don't know. That's interesting to me. But still, I'm showing the entire lead up to Stone Crusher's run because it's the first run, and he's going for a donut, starting things off a little bit differently. Steve Sims trying to get himself on the leaderboard with a good run, going back to his roots. Donuts are something that obviously he's been doing for a very long time, as every driver has that's been in the sport for a while. And a good donut for Steve Sims. Obviously, that's your new best run with the 4.741. Next up in this skills challenge is Brad Allen in the Monster Mode Rottweiler. The truck, as you see, those spikes on that truck are beautifully hanging off there. And that won't be an amazing first hit, but hopefully he can rebound it with his second hit as he goes for that jammer. And he gets a little kick on one wheel, a one-wheel wheelie, a solid run. That is your new best run. Next up, it is John Zimmer. And Dragon, he hits the jammer as well, trying to get a nice wheelie. Can't quite get the kick out of it that he would have hoped for. Now I think he's going for a reverse popper, and he is. He's on those rear two wheels, sitting it down there. And he's going to walk it up the ramp as he breathes some fire. And he sets it down. Another really good run, but I think overall, the Monster Mode Rottweiler had a better run. Next up is Avenger, a solid hit off the backside of that jammer. That was a decent first hit. He's got an opportunity for a good second hit, going for the backside of the racing lane. Two sky wheelies there for Jim Kohler. I'm still going to give it to Monster Mode Rottweiler right now. Next up, it is Todd the Duke in Monster Energy. He's dancing it on the front two wheels of this Monster Energy truck. Oh my, he's on the sidewalls, and he can't save that. A disappointing finish as Todd the Duke's going to have to go back to the pits. Next up is Michael Vaughters Jr. in Overkill Evolution. A lot of people think he was snubbed of a two-wheel win last weekend, and now he's competing in the skills this weekend again in San Antonio, hoping to try and get a bit of redemption. And a good first hit there, setting himself up for a second hit. He's on the front two wheels, walking that truck again, and Michael Vaughters Jr. showing off. He's saying, hey, all you feld drivers, I can play. He's cocked his front two wheels. He is walking a moonwalk while turned to the right. An amazing run. That is your new best run of the night. Next up is Jamie Garner in Overboard. He didn't make it to the final round in racing like last weekend, and that is an interesting first hit as he will try and rebound that with a good second hit as well. He's on the front two wheels, and that'll set him down. But I do think that Michael Vaughters Jr. has your best run. Now is Lindsey Wink in the Lucas Oil Crusader. He used a little turning pod there to try and get himself a bicycle, but he ended up on his lid. A disappointing run there. Next up is Brian Wright in Hooked as he is going for a donut like his teammate Steve Sims did earlier on in the competition. And he will be done right there. A good move. Next up is Becky McDonough in the El Toro Loco. A decent sky wheelie there. She's going for hit number 2, a bicycle attempt, and she can't quite get the bicycle that she was hoping for. Next in this competition will be Colvin Ard in the Black Pearl as he goes for a reverse popper. Doesn't get the hit to get a reverse popper quite as well as he would like to. Now he's on the front two wheels, and he can't get the forward popper either, which will lead us right into Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, who walks a slap wheelie down. He kicks the pod. He's turning over. Can he save it? No, he cannot. The truck is on its lid. Not many trucks left. This is your last run out here in the Skills Challenge, and it is Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. And he's on the front two wheels. A solid move as he walks it back up the ramp. And he pops it down into a combo. Oh my, Bryce Kenny. Oh, but he flips it over. That was almost a really good run. As you see, your score to beat is a 9.428 from Overkill Evolution. Michael Vaughters Jr. seeing if Bryce Kenny can take the lead. He cannot. It is an 8.985. That is enough for third, which means that your winner in the Skills Challenge today is Michael Vaughters Jr. in Overkill Evolution. That brings us into the freestyle competition, everybody. We are here in freestyle looking for some awesome things to start us off as Jamie Garner in Overboard kicks us off. He's got to come out first because he sadly could not compete in last week's freestyle competition. This is a chance for him to get some more points and some nice air locking up those brakes. Gets pinned down. He's going to have to throw it in reverse. Getting some more nice air, locking up those brakes once more, popping it into a really nice combo there. And again, getting a little too close to the side. So Jamie's had an interesting start to his run. He's had some good moves, but he's been pinned against some obstacles that he does not really want to be pinned against. Jamie Garner has a very promising year ahead of him, we hope. He's had some really good years the last two. Honestly, last year was a really awesome year for him. That he didn't get in the showdown really surprised a lot of people. He pops it into a wheelie. Not so sure if that was on purpose, but that was a pretty cool move. Has to back it up again. He's having a good run, but the getting stuck is not helping him really at all. Lining up for the back end of the step-up as he walks that thing all the way across the top and floors it over onto the other side. A good move there for Jamie Garner, and overboard the biggest air of his run by far. Now he's lining up for the backside of it. And another nice leap. Some big air again as he locks up those brakes. This has been a really great run out of the overboard. Amazing. This run has been so just a compilation of amazing things. Doesn't have much time left. Some more really nice air. This truck is getting some hang time. He's on a bicycle, and that will be the end of his run today. A solid freestyle. That'll get an 8.371 for Overboard. As they put on the video board, they spelled his name wrong. This video board guy's not having a great day out here today. Stone Crusher is up next in freestyle. This is Steve Sims. He got in DNF last week in freestyle from flipping. Well, he broke within 30 seconds of the beginning of his run, so sadly he got a 0 in that show. It's so awesome seeing Steve Sims still driving. This is a guy who started all the way back in 2007, and I mean the stories don't stop for this guy. If you don't know the story of how he got into the sport, I've said it a few times, but it's really an amazing story. He was a countertop guy who went into Dennis Anderson's home to put in a countertop, didn't know who he was. Dennis Anderson introduced himself, said, "Hey, I'm the driver of that Gravedigger truck." Obviously, that's not exactly how it went, but I mean, he got Steve Sims into driving monster trucks, and here he is all these years later. He has managed to stay in the sport for 13 more years. It's been an amazing journey for Steve Sims. He's been in multiple World Finals competitions, which is why I honestly believe he is still out here driving today, because we know he has such a great history. And a little save for Steve Sims, a nice move. Steve Sims is one of those drivers that he had a certain skill set when he started driving, and then the times kind of overpassed him, and he still had the same skill set as the times progressed, which is why he's really still the driver today that he was all those years ago. Obviously, he's decreased a little bit as time has gone on, but he's having a solid run out here. I think Jamie Garner definitely has your run of the night to this point in Overboard. Obviously, that's how you actually would spell overboard, but that's not how he spells it. So a good run for Steve Sims and the Stone Crusher. That's going to put him in second in my book. I think, honestly, Jamie Garner had a really solid run. That could really stay up there a lot of the night tonight. Just the backups will hurt him a little bit. But next up in this competition is Steve Sims' teammate Brian Wright and Hooked. Oh my, getting vertical on a sky wheelie, and he is turtled. Oh man, that's disappointing. That'll be the end of the run. Next up is John Zimmer in Dragon. So a disappointing day for the Hooked team. Not really a good showing for Brian Wright. He's not off to a great start this year after last year having a pretty decent year. John Zimmer in Dragon's also another one who's not really off to a good start this year. He's 0-2 in racing after last year when he won back-to-back racing competitions at the beginning of the year. He didn't have the good start to the year that he was hoping. He's falling really far behind in points going into this freestyle, so he's hoping to bounce back with a good run out here today. And some more nice air. This is a good chance for John Zimmer to get on the board early. There is a mini flip out there on the track. That is an obstacle that John Zimmer's really enjoyed hitting. That is a move that he hits a lot. He's lining up for that step up and another nice leap. That is going to be a jump that gives us some big air. Oh no, it looks like he either lost all power in the right. Yeah, he locked up a planetary in the front right. That is a disappointing move right there for the Dragon. Sadly, it came on a really great hit, which will most likely end his run. I mean, he's still going. They're letting him run still, which I have to give him major props for. They're letting him try and figure it out. He's a veteran driver. I think that also plays into it a little bit. They're saying, hey, he's a veteran driver. He probably can maneuver his way out of it and put on a really good freestyle, unlike some of the new drivers who really won't know what to do with that. But he's trying to figure it out. It's not easy. He's trying to turn left without any power in that right side, which is why he's just flooring it. And beautiful. There you go, John Zimmer. He figured it out. I mean, it's just not an easy situation. He's trying to get himself some moves, and he just stuffs it into the side of that pod, doing everything he can, honestly. You can't take it away from him. He's doing everything he can in his power to give the fans a good freestyle with a broken truck. That's what it's all about. That's what Monster Jam is all about. That's what it used to be all about as well. Putting down a good run with a broken truck. He filled the clock. An amazing showing from John Zimmer. Next up, we have Darren Basil in the Black Stallion. I still have to think in my mind that Jamie Garner has your best run so far. Darren Basil in this Black Stallion truck is... I mean, his brother had some good luck this weekend as well. He got his first racing win in an arena in a... maybe even ever. Oh boy, he's on a little bicycle and he's able to save it. But yeah, Darren's brother Aaron had a racing win in Monster Mud on the Triple Threat Tour, the Triple Threat East Tour last weekend. That is the tour with Tyler Menninga, Blake Granger, Caleb Blood, and Aaron went out there and beat them all. He beat Blake Granger in the final round to win racing in a triple threat. It doesn't get any better than that, but Darren Basil's out here freestyling, hoping to put down a good run for these San Antonio fans. And honestly, anytime you see Darren Basil out there, you never know what's going to happen, especially when he's filling in. I mean, this guy is probably the most dependable Monster Jam fill-in. Both of them are. They are very good. You can count on them to be there at a show when you need them. And that's very important because you never know what's going to happen to a driver. I mean, we've seen drivers get injured at shows and can't make it out in the next weekend. That's what these guys are out here for, and it's great to see them still in the sport. They've been around for so long. He's been shut off. I don't know if that'll be the end of the run. They might have seen something broken with the truck, or he's just been shut off. I believe he was shut off last week as well. Yeah, sadly, that's the end of the run. Next up, we have Michael Vaughters Jr. in Overkill Evolution. He's your skills winner, trying to get a double down here today. He's lining up for something right off the start, getting some air to kick off his run. This has been an impressive showing so far out of Michael Vaughters Jr. today, and this season's been a bit of an interesting one for him. He had a solid freestyle last week, had a really good skills competition. I think the only thing that's lacking and holding him back is that racing. I mean, yes, he has the ability to be a good racer, but we know this guy, he really stands out in freestyle, but he's became a little bit of a two-wheel guy where he's going out there doing moonwalks every weekend. Wow, that was some serious air off of that jump. I mean, Michael Vaughters Jr. is going to be doing big things in freestyle if you give him the chance to, but anytime he's out in two-wheel now, it looks like he's going to be a threat, which has never been his game. But honestly, if you want to compete in this sport today, you've got to learn how to do the new things that people are doing. You might not even have to necessarily do it the way they do it. You could change it up if you want, but he is trying to fit in, going for moonwalks, and it's clearly working very, very well. He did very well in the first show of the year in Anaheim, and then he got a win today, and now he's out here freestyling. He's trying to pick up as many points as he can. He smacks into the side of the backflip ramp, and he's lining up for that step up, and a huge air. The step up again, probably the most said name in all of my channel, the step up and the jammer back to back. I mean, it doesn't get more nostalgic than that for my channel's viewers, at least. We didn't have a step up all of last year, really, because of the track that they were running. And now out here this year, this Red Tour will be running a step up all season long. It's going to be awesome to watch them getting some serious elevation. Can't wait to see that in Vegas as well. I think that's the end of his run. He's going to pull it off to the side. A good run for Michael Waters. I don't think that is your best run, though. Obviously, I'm going to have to go back and watch, but I think Jamie Gardner was a bit better. But next up is Monster Energy and Todd LeDuc. Now, last week I went back and I rejudged all of the runs afterwards, and I actually gave Adam Anderson the win for this tour in Anaheim. I thought he clearly deserved that win. He had a great run, and like I said, he threw down a typical Anaheim run, a 2-minute run where he didn't fill the clock. Where he filled the clock, didn't do a backflip, had amazing air, was clearly the best run of the night, and got an 8. That is exactly what happened to Adam Anderson last week in Anaheim again. But no, when we're talking about Adam Anderson, the other black and green wrecking machine is Todd LeDuc's Monster Energy. Getting his solid sky wheelie there. Todd LeDuc never will leave his truck on the track. Even when it's a 2-show weekend, he's still going to throw down in that first show. And like I said last week, this year could be another year where Todd LeDuc wins a World Finals championship. He has looked pretty strong in his last few shows heading into this year, and hopefully he can continue that. I think he's lining up for the backflip already. The Monster Energy backflip ramp. He under-rotated it just a little, but thankfully it did not affect his run. He lost the rear panel of that truck. A backflip, the first of the night, lining up for that step-up. Huge air again. The step-up providing some awesome elevation. And Todd LeDuc is throwing down in San Antonio today, going for the jammer time, and absolutely launched. Todd LeDuc is throwing his truck and body on the line out here in San Antonio today. What a run from Todd. He is getting awesome air, filling the clock with back-to-back hits. Just amazing momentum. The flow is all there. A picture-perfect run out of Todd LeDuc. The fans are so loud right now cheering for this guy. His run isn't even finished. He's still got time left. And you better believe he's going to finish his run with some amazing elevation. Spinning it into a donut now right as the lights go red. A phenomenal freestyle for Monster Energy, and he is going to walk it off the track. An amazing run. That is your new best run of the night. Next up, trying to do something about that is Brad Allen in the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Brad had a pretty good run last weekend. He's hoping to follow that up with another good one this weekend. He has an opportunity for 2 good runs this weekend. Brad Allen's been on arguably the best tours each of the last 2 years. I mean, honestly, this was looking like a pretty good tour coming into this year, and it's lived up to that hype. Last weekend, I mean, it was a very interesting weekend all around, but I think going into this weekend, the Red Tour still was standing out as the #1 tour. He was on the best tour last year, getting a sky wheelie. Again, the step up in each run so far has given a driver some butterflies in their stomach, but Brad Allen was on that blue tour last year that consisted of drivers like Tom Meents, Camden Murphy, Ryan Anderson, Justin Sipes, Cynthia Gauthier, just to name a few. So we had quite the tough time getting some ground in that point standings. This year the field's a little bit easier. They spread out the talent a little bit more this year, which was good. They broke that tour up a lot. So thankfully the talent's it's fairly solid. You're not going to see one tour really outstanding the others because of how much talent there is on it, which gives Brad Allen a bit of a better chance to get himself higher in the points. He's got 30 seconds left in his freestyle today. He's just kind of driving around, don't know what he's doing. He seems to be struggling just a little bit in this freestyle. Oh, he's got his eyes on that mini flip, everybody. The move he did so many times last year, going for the mini flip. And he lands it. The first stadium mini flip of 2020 goes to none other then the mini flip man himself, Brad Allen, in the Monster Mode Rottweiler. So next up in this freestyle competition will be Colvin Ard in the Black Pearl. As he continues this freestyle competition, hopefully he can throw down a good run today, getting some solid air. He's had himself quite the day. Popped a tire in the racing competition in the final round. He was inches away from getting that win. And then in that two-wheel wasn't so good, and he just broke something on the truck there. And that'll be the end of his run. He's going to get a 0 for that freestyle, sadly. Next up will be the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. This is piloted by Bryce Kenny. Here's your racing winner tonight, looking for a double down. Crawling over that racing lane, just needing to get something going to start off your run. We've seen a few drivers get their runs cut a little short. Obviously, Todd LeDuc has the best run of the night so far. You've got to wait and see if that'll hold up, though, as Bryce Kenny comes out here looking for that double down. There are not too many trucks left. I honestly think that Adam Anderson's the only one. Oh, no, we have Adam Anderson. We also have Becky McDonough. That's right. I believe there's just those two left to come in freestyle today. Oh, Jim Kohler still has to come out as well. That's right. See, this is why I talk to myself about these things. It'll make me remember. I think the order will be Adam Anderson, Jim Kohler, and Becky McDonough, if I recall correctly from last weekend. So Bryce is just trying to fill the clock right now. Hasn't done anything spectacular in the beginning of this run. Almost got a stoppie there. But just trying to fill the first 60 seconds, and then maybe he'll turn it on going throughout the rest of his run. Some nice air. This has been an impressive freestyle competition so far. This has probably been the best show of the year as well. It started off fairly interesting with the video board issues, and then we had even more video board issues at the beginning of freestyle when they spelled overboard as B-O-A-R-D, which was even funnier. He's lining up for the Monster Energy backflip ramp, going for the green. Oh my, he under-rotates it, stuffs it in, and saves it. That's a move we saw Bryce do a lot in 2018. He's just thrown it in reverse, turning himself around. And just like last week, he's being impeded by his hood and going for the step up. Big air. Bryce Kenny pulling something out of his throwback moves, I guess. And even more nice air. It's been a good run for Bryce. I don't know if it'll take the lead away from Monster Energy, but it should come pretty close. So that'll be the end of the run for Bryce Kenny. That Great Clips Mohawk Warrior threw down, but I think Monster Energy has your run of the night. Coming out next will be the Lucas Oil Crusader. This is Lindsey Wink. Oh, I forgot about him while talking about the other runs. My bad. So there are 3 more trucks after Lindsey. That'll be Adam Anderson, Jim Kohler, and Becky McDonough. Again, unless I'm forgetting somebody else, which I very well could be. Again, I wouldn't know because they don't have the results on the Monster Jam website, so I have no idea. But Lindsey Wink is, like I said last week, always reliable to throw down a good freestyle. He can be counted on to do just that every single time he's out here on the track. And so far in this Alamo Dome show, he's had himself quite the interesting day. Didn't make it to the semifinals of racing, had 1 hit in 2-wheel, and now he's out freestyling, going over that step-up ramp with a big leap. You could also expect a backflip out of Lindsey Wink in his freestyle if he gets there. Lindsey Wink was one of those drivers we weren't so sure if he was going to be driving coming into this year. He wasn't named anywhere. No one knew if he was going to be driving. The only people that knew he was going to be driving were the people at Feld, the people that worked for Feld, because they were at the Monster Jam Summit and saw Lindsey Wink there. They knew he was going to be... Actually, they knew he was going to be driving going into this year. Going for the step up again. Amazing air. But they knew Lindsey Wink was going to be driving. Nobody else did, so that was pretty cool. The only driver that was a bit of a mystery that no one knew about, even including at Feld, was Cam McQueen in the Bro Camino. We'll see him tomorrow night in the St. Louis commentary. And like I said, Lindsey Wink going for that backflip. He diverted his route going all the way over to the backflip ramp. He got it beautifully. Another nice backflip, the 3rd of the night. And that'll be the end of the run. So that was a good run. I don't think that's good enough for me to say that it was the best run. But next up is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. Bad to the bone for 38 years now. In 2 more years, we will have the 40th anniversary of Gravedigger. An absolute massive air. I think at that point, that's when we should be seeing a bit of a color, or a body change even for Gravedigger. I mean, come on, 40th anniversary, you gotta do something big. Some more really nice air. So this Gravedigger truck is throwing down so far. Adam again hasn't had quite the amazing day. Didn't make it to the semis in racing. Didn't have a great skills run. I have to get used to saying that. I thought he was going to pull a Charlie Pauk and go for the backflip already. Step up time. Amazing air. I'm just waiting for someone to get absolute launched off of that thing. I know somebody will at some point this season, where they'll be reaching the ceiling of the stadium. Going for the jammer now. Oh my gosh! Absolute hang time. I'm going to say it. I think it showed up at the San Antonio airport with that hit, because that was absolutely bombed. And that is the end of the run. But sadly, that run is cut short. That was a fantastic freestyle. But still, Todd the Duke is your best run of the night so far. But coming out, trying to change that, is the man that we know as Mr. Excitement, Jim Kohler, and Avenger. Some serious talent in this man if he could get it harnessed. And some even more interesting points throughout Jim Kohler's history. This guy has had some awesome freestyles throughout his career. Oh, he hits the little dirt pod next to the backflip. That's something new. I was waiting for someone to do that. This is a 2-time world freestyle champion. A lot of people thought he could have gotten it in 2017 as well with his amazing freestyle. He bumps into the dumpster, and he's able to maneuver himself out of it. And then he crosses over that mini flip pod. So Jim Kohler is always able to put down a good freestyle. Lining up for the step up, and again, the air off of that step up is unlike any other. And a big save out of Jim Kohler in the Avenger. He's having a great freestyle today. These San Antonio fans are really getting a good show, and there's still one truck left to come after Jim Kohler. Jim Kohler was having himself quite the down year in 2019. He was lucky to get voted into that All-Star Challenge by the fans, because he definitely did not have a good year last year. Didn't even show up in the top 50 drivers of the year of 2019, so he's hoping to get himself back. He wants to be in that top this year. The clock has been paused. Let's see if that Avenger can get itself fired and running again to finish this freestyle out here today. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the run. He sadly is going to be shut off, but a good run from Jim Kohler in Avenger. Next up, we have the last truck out today. She's got no nose. It is Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco. She's trying to defend her freestyle win from the last show at Anaheim. She's lining up for some big air right off the bat. This is some Ryan Anderson type of stuff here. And she launches that truck right off the bat. Becky's not playing around. She's going for it right now. She's saying, hey, I know you dogs can play out there, but I've got an opportunity to double down or go back to back here. Todd the Duke had a really good run, but there's definitely room for improvement if she could throw down a good run, but she's searching around for a lot of hits. She's not really doing much so far. Becky McDonough definitely has lowered some of that momentum that was there in the beginning of the run. That first hit was good. Other than that, nothing really to note. That is some solid air, though. Got some nice anglage off of that move. Yes, Bringing back my custom words. She's trying to put together as good of a run as she can, and that planetary locks up. The front right planetary has locked. Let's see if they let her try and finish her run as well, like they did with John Zimmer. She's not as talented of a driver as John Zimmer, so it might be a bit harder for her, but she's using her noggin. She backs out of it. That's an intelligent move right there. There you go. But you know what? I gotta give her major props for that, to figure out to just throw it in reverse. And then she's gonna spin it into with some spin cycle donuts. She's not even turning her wheels. It's just spinning. I love that. I think she has turned a little bit. Now she's turned. Wow, what a cyclone out of Becky McDonough. The best move of her run. Yeah, she's dizzy. I think she needs to throw up now after that. That was an awesome donut, though. Honestly, one of the best of the year so far in stadiums, at least. We've seen some awesome arena donuts. And that'll be the end of her run. So, I mean, if she were to double down here, I think there would be some outrage. I mean, go back to back here, but yeah, that's going to be an 8.574. So, let's see who your winner was in this freestyle competition. It was Todd the Duke in Monster Energy with a 9.884. A great run from Todd the Duke will be rewarded with a good show. But we've still got another show out here to go. There's one show left, boys and girls. It is the second San Antonio show this weekend. Coming out for intros, you can see Jim Kohler in Avenger. He's up there on the pod. That's from winning two-wheel last week. They got the video board right. Coming out next will be Becky McDonough in El Toro Loco. Able to get the truck fixed up for the Sunday show. That's what I was wondering. What are they going to do with having the defending winners? What are they going to do in these Sunday shows? And I guess they're just going to stick with what they did in the first show, because Todd the Duke is coming out here with the other two that came out in the first show. Yes, Todd the Duke is your defending freestyle winner from the first show. So Todd is, like I said, your defending freestyle winner. So he is the only one out here who's actually defending something. Knocks over those beautiful red tires that I love that they have those colored. I wish we could have color treads on trucks. That'd be so cool. There's one truck left. And he's actually your defending racing winner, as if they predicted that. It's Bryce Kenny, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Mr. Hype. Him and Scott Buto are some serious hype mans for this sport. The Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, such a staple in Monster Jam, honestly. The Mohawk Warrior truck is so awesome. So, San Antonio, this is Monster Jam. I'm your host who's ready for Monster Jam. Welcome back. Got a second show out here for you. I'll let you enjoy intros, and I'll be back in the semifinals of racing. So here we are in the semi-final round, and as you can see here, in the near lane, it is Todd the Duke in Monster Energy taking on the man who won racing yesterday, or earlier in the video, Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Todd the Duke is quite the racer though, so I'd be surprised if this race was as close as what we saw between Cole Bernard and Bryce. But again, Bryce has surprised us this year. He's by far having a better year this year than he did all of last year. So with Todd trying to go back-to-back, with Bryce trying to go back-to-back and Todd trying to knock down his hopes of that, this could be one very exciting race. Todd goes very wide into that turn. That'll take away some of the ground, but it obviously will build up a lot more speed going into that final turn. Very close going to the final turn. They both fishtail a little going over the final jump, but Bryce Kenny with a mistake. And your winner is Monster Energy as he will move in to the final round of racing. So that was a good race as well, but that'll bring us into the next race in the semifinals between Brian Wright and Hooked and Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco. Becky McDonough's horns are already starting to fall out. Brian Wright goes very wide around that turn. That could cost him the race. And it looks like it will as Becky McDonough's going to soar ahead to victory. Brian Wright almost came back, but could not quite do it. They almost collided there at the end, but she's going to give him a little love blow of smoke. And she'll be moving on to the final round, an opportunity for her to get into the final round of racing for the first time this year against Todd LeDuc. So, we're here in the final round of racing. These two have some history in Monster Jam. They were on tour together all year last year, so they have raced a few times. And that means that this should be one even more interesting race. This is our second racing competition of the video, and neither of the drivers that were in the final round of the first one are competing in this one. So let's meet the competitors in the far lane. He's your defending freestyle winner from the last show, and he's had a pretty good night so far tonight as he's made it all the way to the final round. It is Todd LeDuc in Monster Energy. Giving a wave to the fans. And in the near lane, she is hoping for one heck of a upset here against Todd LeDuc. It is Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco. I would have to say it would be an upset if you were to knock down Todd LeDuc here in the final round, but anything can happen. Monster Energy and El Toro Loco both off. Two very classic Monster Jam trucks. Oh my, and Becky McDonough spins out after the first turn. And unless Todd LeDuc flips over, this is an easy racing win tonight for the Monster Energy truck as he crosses the line first in this racing competition with a big-time win. Todd LeDuc in Monster Energy, his first racing win of the year. He has now won both racing and freestyle this season in the same weekend as well. A good start to the year for Todd. He's definitely looking strong at the beginning of 2020.
She got too excited. She knew she got him at here. And she overcompensated.
It's time for the skills challenge, everybody. And Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior starts us off on the front two wheels, walking a moonwalk and now a stoppie. Oh my, Bryce Kenny, look at him go. He's still walking it. What a move. That's probably Bryce Kenny's best two-wheel move ever.
Put your hands together, Bryce Kenny, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior.
That was an awesome run there. I think they didn't show his first hit, so that's got to be the new best move. Next up is Overkill Evolution. This is Michael Vaughters Jr. Or Mike Vaughters II, as he likes to call himself, but I'm just so used to saying Michael Vaughters Jr. And another nice stoppie for him as he has looked pretty good in this skills competition this year. That's all he's done is just stoppies, but it's helped him. He's got one hit left in this skills run. I mean, he's been impressive so far. I've been impressed by what he's done in this skills challenge. This has clearly been his best competition of the year. Spinning it around, he's got one hit left. And based on what he's done so far, I'm guessing we've got another stoppie in us. Yes, we do. Lining up for the backside of the racing lane. He gets the kick forward. He's on the front two wheels. Walking that truck on a stoppie. Michael Vaughters Jr. trying to be Mr. Stoppy this year. And again, he's tilting those wheels. He's on his lid, and a good run. I think Bryce Kenny was a bit better, but I don't know what his first hit was. So I'm going to have to stick with Overkill Evolution being your new best run. Coming up next in this skills challenge, it is the Black Pearl, driven by Cole Vennard. Kicks it back into a reverse popper. There you go, Cole. He's sitting it on the back. And now he will walk it up that racing lane. Can he get it all the way up? Yes, he can. He sits it down. Stuffs in that rear side of the truck. Getting some Philadelphia 2018 flashbacks with that move. Or with the way the truck looks. I think he's going for either a moonwalk or a reverse popper here. He's going for a moonwalk. On the front two wheels. And he's on the front two wheels, walking the Black Pearl. And a really good run. I'm going to say that is your new best run of the night out of Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. Next up in this skills challenge, we have the Monster Energy. This is your racing winner, so if he can win two-wheel as well, then he will have won every competition so far in the season, all in one weekend. And he's walking the Stoppy all the way down to the parking lot of for the trucks. And that is an awesome hit number one. He's got one hit left, and he's going for a slap wheelie. Can't quite get the kick he wanted out of that. That's too bad. But a solid run, but I'm going to say Cole Vennard has the best run of the skills challenge so far. Next is Adam Anderson, and Gravedigger walking a bicycle, and he combos it into the backside of the step-up. Sadly, that wasn't as good of a first hit as we've seen out of other drivers. This truck seems to be riding a little bit lower than some of the other trucks. He's going for the backside of the step-up. He just yeeted that thing for his second move, and that will be the end of his run. Again, I don't know for sure if that was the best, though. Next up is the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. He tried to get a slap wheel. He couldn't get that kick that he wanted. And that'll be the end of his run. Jim Kohler's next. He's going for a sky wheelie. Look, Jim Kohler, he's an old dog. He's going for his old dog tricks. Going for the step up, and another send off of the step up. Went for the sky wheel. He couldn't quite get it. John Zimmer went for a reverse popper there. He couldn't quite get that as well. I still think Cole Vennard's had the best run so far. He's got one hit left, going for that jammer. He got a sky wheelie, and again, he went for the slap wheelie. He got it this time around. Unlike in yesterday's show, he got the slap wheelie, the Dragon, with two solid hits, but still, Cole Vennard has had the best run in my opinion. Not too many trucks left in this skills challenge before we head into freestyle. Really pretty truck. I like what they've done with it. Just the lines on this truck are really awesome. Next up is Stone Crusher. He gets a sky wheelie. A really good sky wheelie too from Stone Crusher. Didn't go for a donut today like he did yesterday. Lining up for the jammer, going for something there too. Almost got a slap wheelie out of it, didn't want to risk the body though, so he's sadly not going to get the best run of the night there. I'm sticking with Cole Vennard. That's my pick for the best run of the night so far. But the next guy out could easily change that. It's Lindsey Wink in the Lucas Oil Crusader. He's going for a bicycle, and he's walking the bicycle. Couldn't get it as long as he would have liked to there, I'm sure. That's a move he started doing back in 2017, and he's really mastered it. Going for a reverse popper here, flooring it, trying to get the wheelie, and he walks the wheelie up the ramp. A pretty good move there, too. But I don't know. I don't think anybody's been able to beat Cole Vennard's run. That Lucas Oil Crusader came close, but I'm going to have to just say no. Now Jamie Garner and Overboard, the teammate to Cole Vennard, going for a stoppy there. A good popper to start off his run. If he can put down a good second hit, I think he could take the lead. Never mind, they didn't show his second hit, or first hit. Black Stallion going for a little stoppy there. Wow, Darren Basil, look at you trying to stoppy. Lining up for something here, not quite sure what. He might be going for the same thing. Dude, Darren Basil, this guy's going for a stoppy. Darren Basil is trying to do a moonwalk. It didn't work, but still, I give him major props for that. He's going to walk it off the track. Solid run. Next is Brian Wright and Hooked, getting a little sky wheelie off of that pallet and going for the slap wheelie. So 2 solid hits there, and I believe this will be your last truck out, El Toro Loco. Going for a sky wheelie there. She will set that down. She's got 1 hit left. She's got 1 hit left, and that'll be the end of her run, so she's done. Your skills winner was Overkill Evolution, and the man who I thought deserved that skills win is up on freestyle now. It's Colvin Ard and the Black Pearl. Yeah, I've got to say, Cole had a bit of a better run than Michael Vaughters Jr., but again, the fans judged. They picked it. So Cole is hoping for a bit of a rebound. I thought he had the best run there in that skills challenge. Sadly did not get the recognition that I think he deserved. And some big air. He's coming out first in this freestyle competition due to the 0 that he had to get last week. And a nice hit off of the jammer. Colvin Ard has not had the success to start off this year that we saw him have in years past. Yes, he's had some solid success in racing, but nothing else anywhere. But huge air off of that step up. My, oh my. We've seen some big air. And this Chevy Black Pearl is not messing around. I love how they use the crossbones as with the crossbone skull as the Chevy symbol on the front instead of the Chevy symbol. I think that's just so cool. But Colvin Ard is rocking the house so far in freestyle to start off our night tonight. This Black Pearl, without a doubt, is setting the bar very high. If he can fill the clock, even do a backflip, I think he'll find himself in a good position today. He's lined up for the backflip, his first of the year. And he gets it. Couldn't quite walk the plank or get a moonwalk out of it, but still a great run. He gets the backflip too, which will help him a lot. Going for the step up, and oh my! The biggest air of the year right there. With absolute hang time. That showed up on the radar at the airport. You bet. Next up, freestyling. It's John Zimmer and Dragon. I don't know how you're going to follow what Colvin Ard did. That was one amazing freestyle from start to finish. Cole just went absolutely balls to the wall. He was shredding it all run. And John Zimmer, who again has not had the luck on his side this year, is hoping for a good run here in freestyle. Some nice air. It looks like Steve Sims might have been pinned to the side there. He might have gone already. We also might have not seen Hooked run, but that's okay. Obviously, if he doesn't show it, it's not worthy of being shown anyway. And big air again. Dragon on the side. He's flipping over and he saves it. What a save at a Dragon. So far, I think that's your save of the year. What a run so far. John Zimmer going back after Colvin Ard throwing down a good run. So John Zimmer, the old guy again, is stepping up. Honestly, John Zimmer has some of the best control of his truck out of anybody in all of Monster Jam. And he is spinning it in a donut. for the backflip. Here we go, Dragon. And he got it. Lining up for that step up, and again, we've got amazing air as Dragon is just throwing down right now. He's had himself quite the day. That was a really, really good run. With the save included, that is your best run of the night. The Monster Mutt Rottweiler. I mean, he's had himself the interesting weekend. Brad Allen definitely has a chance to open some eyes out here. But following up with the other animal beast the Dragon just did, it's going to be pretty hard to throw down a new lead freestyle. Or a new best freestyle, rather. He's got to back it up. That's disappointing. Anyone else notice how the body looks a little different? Oh, there's that one orange thing on the right side on the roof, but not on the other side. I don't know if that's a mistake or if it fell off. Yeah, look, there's only one and it's on the right side. That's funny. Oh my, big air. Brad Allen airing that puppy out. The Ginger Man, as he likes to call himself. Mr. Brad Allen. Got a mini flip in the first show of the weekend. That was pretty awesome. Going for the step up. Big air. Oh my gosh. The air off of the step up is just, like I said, unlike any other. He pops a tire and he's got to counter steer into it, sadly. Hopefully he can get himself away from it and finish his run. And they're going to shut him off, sadly. That's the end of the run for Brad Allen. So that's going to be the end of the run for the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Okay, that's a little weird. He doesn't have a pop tire in that clip. Well, Gravedigger's up next. So that's interesting. I guess this guy mixed around when the drivers are coming out. Getting some nice air. Adam Anderson had a really good run in the first show, but he couldn't quite get that clincher for a winning freestyle as he flipped over a little too early. Drifting around the track, typical Gravedigger style. And Adam is just floating it to the floor, as always, with this throttle hounding beast. An amazing air. I mean, what else can you expect when Adam Anderson's out here freestyling? This Gravedigger truck is unrelenting. And oh my gosh, the hang time that Adam Anderson gets in this truck is just, it is seriously unprecedented. We don't see it anywhere else. Spinning around. Adam has not gone for a backflip yet this year either, which is even funnier. It's one of the funnier things this season, and even bigger. This truck just takes a beating every weekend out. So this has been one crazy freestyle for Adam. If he could get the backflip, oh my, look at that rim. If he could hit the backflip, I mean, he needs to do a little bit more if he wants to take the lead from John Zimmer because of that save Zimmer had. Oh my! What a move out of Gravedigger! Holy cow! Adam Anderson. Just another crazy save and awesome air! Oh my! Yeah, I'm gonna say it. We've got our new best run of the night right there from Gravedigger. Adam Anderson spinning it into a donut after the time. And a phenomenal freestyle out of the black and green wrecking machine. Gravedigger is done. And that, in my opinion, is your new best run of the night. No question about it. Freestyling next on this red track is the Lucas Oil Crusader. This is Lindsey Wink's turn to freestyle it up. This Lucas Oil Crusader is an absolute monster, no pun intended, and walking the wheelie. Oh, man, he's going to have to throw it in reverse. That'll hurt his scores a little bit. He's going for that racing lane, getting some air. Lindsey Wink is one of the most technical drivers you will find out here. Another guy who has really great control of his truck. And big air. Following what Adam Anderson did is not going to be easy. I think he definitely had the best run of the night so far. John Zimmer a very close second. If I had to score them, I'd probably give Adam Anderson a 9.4 and Zimmer a 9.3. Lucas Oil Crusader, Lindsey Wink, such a long-time veteran of the sport. This truck is like a fossil at this point. He's on the sidewalls. Can he get a save? Yes, he can. That means he's going to have to back it up, though. I won't take off points for that because he got a nice save leading into it. Oh, I think I know what he's going for. It's jammer time, my friends. He's hitting the jammer. Oh, my gosh, the air. Absolutely wild air off of that hit. And Lindsey is just tearing it up. This San Antonio show's been phenomenal. And he's spinning it into a cyclone like Becky did last night. And he's just going till he's on his lid. And he's trying to save it, but he can't quite get the save. I don't think he really understood that he was on his lid at that point. That truck is done. A great run from Lindsey Wink. And we'll transition right into Jim Kohler in Avenger. This Avenger truck, Jim's had a pretty solid start to the year, I must say. Obviously, it helps depending on the tour you're on. Like I said with Brad Allen, he was on that tour last year with Tom and Ryan and all those other amazing drivers that really overshadowed him. They kind of buried him in the standings. But now on the tour he's on really an independent, happy tour. There's a lot of indies on this tour, and he's got the opportunity to thrive alongside of the drivers that he drives with most of the time for the entire year. So, I mean, really, this is just a great chance for Jim Kohler to really put down a solid year, a bounce-back year. I mean, really, last year was just not a good year for him. Racing was, I mean, he's not really a racer, so you can't expect him to do well there. But freestyle was not the year that we wanted to see out of him, and two-wheel was really nothing special either. And to see him come out this year, do something awesome right off the bat, winning that two-wheel run was just, it was something special, and I'm sure he'll enjoy that for a while. And even going on to win the event championship at that show, I'm sure it was such an awesome feeling for him, knowing how last year did not go the way he wanted to. So he's taking this, he's feeling pretty good about it, and I think he's got a chance for a good run here. A sidewall and another save out of Jim Kohler. And he combos that into another hit, another save. Oh my. Jim Kohler in the Avenger. He's going nuts already in this run. I'd like to see him go for a backflip. We haven't seen one yet this year out of the Avenger. We will at some point, obviously, but maybe the time is now. He's going for it. He's lining up for the backflip ramp. Jim Kohler in Avenger. He hits it and he lands it perfectly. The Avenger backflip is absolutely nailed. And he doesn't have, I think the time is up. Yeah, time is up. Jim Kohler in Avenger, though. What a run he threw down for these fans here in San Antonio. Put your hands together because the Avenger is not playing around as he shows up with one heck of a run there. I still think your best run, though, is Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. Avenger had a good run, but not the best. I would have to give that about a 9. It's like a Franken body. He's got a neon green on the front, and the rest of the side panels have darker green. Freestyling next is Brian Wright and Hook. That body's just not even existent anymore. It's just a cab. Yeah, this is from the beginning of the freestyle competition. I don't know what this guy was doing editing-wise. He must have decided that it wasn't fun to just use the videos as is and just swap them around in some random way. But as long as he's got Todd the Dude coming out last, I'll be satisfied. This hook truck does not mess around. We've seen some awesome moves out of Brian Wright in the past. He's one of the most underrated drivers in my opinion. I mean, he didn't have the best start to the year this year that I think he would have wanted to have, but still, it's only the second show of the year. There's a lot of room for improvement as the year goes on. We're not even through January yet. This camera's quite phenomenal. Let's go for the step up. Look at Brian Wright absolutely airing out that hook truck. I'm going to be saying step up a lot this year. You guys are going to have to get used to it on this rec tour, I guess. These Friday night step ups are going to be pretty fun. I'm also very intrigued to see what kind of tracks they run in the second half of the year in MetLife Stadium, Foxborough. I wonder if they're going to stick with the same track or if they're going to use different ones. Some big air. This hook never ceases to amaze me at how Brian Wright really has such untapped potential inside of that cab. Maybe that's why this cab being the only part of the body salon is a good metaphor for Brian Wright's driving style. Imagine he goes for a backflip. I think I'd lose my mind. I really like Brian Wright. He's a really good guy. He's a great driver. Again, he just gets unlucky sometimes, but he throws down pretty good freestyles whenever he can. But I would say Brian Wright, one of the top underrated drivers. Coming out next will be his teammate. This is Steve Sims at Stone Crusher. He's had himself, I mean, I've said it for everybody. This has been by far the most interesting start to a Monster Jam season for anybody, for everybody. I mean, overall, the tours and the arenas are looking even more insane than we could have imagined. Tyler Menning is in third behind Blake Granger and Caleb Blood. Tristan England's winning his tour by over 30 points. Randy Brown winning his tour is not too much of a surprise. He's having a good run. I'm also trying to figure out what the other arena tour is that I'm forgetting. I'm completely blanking on the other Triple Threat tour. Oh, that's Kristen Anderson's tour. Oh, Justin Sipes. That's right. Justin Sipes is creaming. Well, not creaming, but he's beating Colton Eichelberger by a decent chunk of points, too. So, I mean, this has just been one interesting year. And then the first week of stadiums was probably the most confusing weekend I've ever seen in my life. Jim Kohler and Jamie Garner shining in their tours. Matt Pagliarulo and Jim Kohler winning overall event championships to start the year. Ryan Anderson finished like 10th. Morgan Kane finished like 7th. Adam Anderson finishing very far behind. And Steve Sims! Oh my gosh! And the Shocks have dismounted. But what a run! Steve Sims finishing it off with one of the biggest hits of the year. Some huge air. And get him out of the truck. Give him a round of applause, because the man, he just destroyed his truck for you fans. Steve Sims, everybody. Next up is Black Stallion coming out in the video like 12th for some reason. Really confused as to the placement of where these trucks came out. We still have to see El Toro Loco, Overboard, and Monster Energy, and Mohawk Warriors. So there's a lot of trucks to come. This Black Stallion is trying to rock out today. I mean, honestly, Adam Anderson having the best run of the night doesn't really surprise me. He is an amazing driver, and it's been about time. Oh my, he gets a little wheelie. Oh my, he throws it in reverse and a save. What a move out of Darren. Oh, he does it again. Okay. Darren Basil, I guess, is Mr. Wheelie Reverse right now. He's just popping it into wheelies and saving it in reverse. I guess that's one way to do it. So, Darren Basil also throwing down a good run. This has been this San Antonio 2 show, best show of the year so far. I mean, seriously, everyone is contributing to this great freestyle. The body's just flying away, flapping in the breeze. think he's done. Yeah, he's done. Next up in freestyle, we've got Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Again, we've got 4 trucks left after this, well, including this. I don't remember if we saw Jamie Garner go, but I don't believe we did. Unless he came out very early, but I don't think so. Bryce Kenny, they got that truck all patched up nice for this show today, after he broke it up in the first show. Yeah, I don't think Jamie Garner's gone. I'm just going to say he hasn't because he's facing the other way. That's your tell. When a truck's facing out, that's how you know they haven't gone yet. Unless they're just a stickler and like facing forward. Bryce Kenny, this Great Clips Mohawk Warriors had itself a fine start to the season. Nothing to say negatively. Last year was definitely a down year for Bryce Kenny. He had no real luck last year. Just the truck was breaking a lot. He couldn't really get consistent, solid moves and runs. But this year he's off to a really rollicking start, and that's all you could ask for from Bryce. He's a great driver. He's got so much potential. And to see him not really reach that last year was very disappointing from a fan's perspective. But he rocks out. I mean, this guy knows how to put on a good show, and he gets a little save. That's not an easy move to do. Most drivers that aren't really skilled would probably flip over there. It's not a big-time save, but that's still one of those little moves that ties into the overall solidness of a run. Oh, I think he's going for the mini flip. Yes, he is. The first mini flip hit of the night. Bryce Kenny. Oh my, he under-rotates it a lot. He floors it in and he gets it. Somehow does the same thing on the mini flip that he did on the backflip last night. I think he's broken, and yes, he is. That'll lead us to Jamie Garner's freestyle and overboard. So, Bryce Kenny, a good run. I can't say that was your best, but that was an awesome move. Reminiscent of what Adam Anderson did in Syracuse last year, except Adam did it just a little bit better. Jamie Garner in this overboard. Team Overboard's had itself a fine weekend out here in San Antonio, but it has been one of the more interesting weekends for this team. Jamie Garner had a phenomenal first weekend. He couldn't compete in freestyle. Now he's out here just trying to get himself back in the game that he was so prevalent in going into freestyle in Anaheim, but sadly couldn't continue it. I mean, if he competed in Anaheim freestyle, he would have been your event champion. Came in second in the skills, won racing, and then if he threw down a top 5 freestyle, that would have been one of the best shows in Monster Jam history in terms of points being earned. Still a few trucks, well, there's 2 trucks left to come. That'll be El Toro Loco, and then it'll be Monster Energy after Overboard. Lining up for the backside of that step-up. You can tell when they're going for it and getting big air. I mean, that step-up is probably my favorite hit in Monster Jam. It's just such an awesome move. Getting bigger air. I'd love to see Jamie Garner go for a backflip, an overboard backflip. As you can see there, that's how you properly spell the name of the truck, Overboard. I don't think he has much time left. He's definitely sub 30. He might even be done. Yeah, he's done. That's the end of his run. So Jamie Garner and Overboard throwing down a good freestyle. Next up is Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco off to a good start. Getting some nice air. You want to see people announce their presence. You can't come out there and just lollygag at the beginning of your freestyle. You've got to do what you can. Try and get yourself a good run. Looks like something's either broke or stuck on the bottom of the truck. That's a hazard there. They're going to have to shut her off. So that's the end of her run. Becky McDonough is done. That is the end of Becky McDonough's night, sadly. Oh my, there's another truck left to freestyle. I completely forgot about Michael Byers Jr. He was your skills winner in this competition, and another chance for him to double down. One of the few Monster Jam drivers to run their own YouTube channel. Oh man, I don't know what's going on here. Something's wrong. I think he's broken already. Oh no. Yeah, Overkill Evolution's broken. That's going to be the end of his run. Tough break. 2 hits for Overkill. That's too bad. Oh yeah, he's really broken. That's too bad. So last but not least, it is your... Oh no, his fuel looks like it's open. I think his fuel tank was open because I just saw a ton of fuel fly out of the truck. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That's the end of his run, I guess. That's too bad. So let's find out who won freestyle today, shall we?
Go hard too.
That's a tough break. That's going to be the end of his run. That's too bad. So Monster Energy is done. So your winner. Oh my, your winner's John Zimmer and Dragon. He barely beat out Gravedigger. Very close finish. Left to go and rejudge that to see who actually... So as you can see, we have one more show this weekend coming up tomorrow. That'll actually be another 2-show commentary in the St. Louis show. That'll be a lot of fun. Then we have next weekend 2 more shows taking place. That'll also be the weekend at Glendale, so I'm going to have to record those ahead of time. But after that, we're going to be having our solid 3-show weekends or 3-day weekends. Those are going to be crazy. I'm not so sure I'm going to be able to handle those. Hopefully I can handle them pretty well, but I'm excited. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. This is going to be a great year of Monster Jam. Let's get ready for it.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.